Hello and welcome. Welcome back if you're returning. Big hello to all my new subscribers, all my rock stars, all my harmonic souls. Thank you very much for all the love. I am truly overwhelmed, and I've got so much in store. Like, I can't even believe it myself. The more that I'm discovering, the more further I'm going, and it's just mind-blowing. Like, I've got folders everywhere, so hold tight. And obviously big love to Paul Cook. Oh my god, like, the stuff that we've been doing is just unbelievable, and we've got a little road trip coming up where we're going to be hopefully uncovering more stuff as well. We've uncovered more stuff on the LiDAR, it's all going on, so you definitely got a treat in store for you, so hold tight. And once again, thank you so much for being here. This video is about something that I came across when I was doing my research, and I have seen it before, but I didn't really take much notice of it because obviously I'm always going from this, that and the other. But it is a device that was found, and it's called the Antikythera mechanism. Okay, and I'll tell you a bit more about it, and obviously I'm going to share some pictures so you can see it. This absolutely blew my mind, and it kind of proves that, our ancestors was definitely measuring the stars, measuring the planets, marking the eclipses, stuff like that. 100%. Well, not marking them, not measuring them. And it kind of makes me question now whether all these sites that are dated through astrology, maybe these sites are actually earlier and they was built for that purpose, because there was predicting the astrology, because there was predicting planetary alignments and stuff like that. Maybe there was building these temples way before there was even them alignments was in the sky ready for it. I don't know, but that's just a little thing I've got niggling away in my head. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about it anyway. So this is the Antikythera mechanism, and it was discovered inside an ancient shipwreck by Greek sponge divers on May the 17th in 1901. And after numerous studies, it was estimated to have been constructed between 150 BC and 100 BC. A later study places it at 205 BC, so it's getting older and older, okay? And that's just 7 years after the death of Archimedes. Okay, so everybody's heard of Archimedes. He apparently was an inventor and everything else, and he was a physicist, I'm sure. He was a mathematician, and he was from Italy, I think, or Sicily. So yeah, Archimedes. It was May 17th, 1901, when Spyridon Staius, a Greek politician, visited a museum that housed treasures from an ancient shipwreck. Among them was a round, green, encrusted piece of metal that caught his eye, as it looked nothing else taken up from the bottom of the sea, surrounding the tiny Greek island of Antikythera. The shipwreck had just been accidentally discovered by local fishermen. One of them had emerged from the water, clutching a bronze arm, the first find from the Antikythera wreckage. Staius, instantly realising this might signify a shipwreck of a great magnitude, organised the ancient wreck's first underwater excavation. The findings were plentiful and staggering in their import. But the strange object which stood out from all the coins, pottery and sculptures found there was by far the most important of all. It was what later to be known as the Antikythera mechanism, dubbed by scientists and archaeologists as the world's first computer. The ancient machine had been buried at the bottom of the sea for approximately 2,100 years. It consisted of bronze gears and other metallic mechanical parts which had once moved smoothly but were rusty or encrusted with tarnish. For decades, archaeologists and scientists attempted to discover what the purpose of the complex mechanism was. They estimated that it had been constructed between 200 and 70 BC. In recent decades, researchers use X-rays and CT scans to inspect the inside of the Antikythera mechanism and reconstruct it. In a jaw-dropping realisation, scientists discovered that the device was an elaborate construction of some 30 interlocking spinning gears that controlled dials tracking the sun, the moon, eclipses, planets, and even the schedule for the Olympic Games. A hand crank spun the gears which moved the hands on the dials. In this way, the user could predict eclipses and the passage of the celestial bodies through the sky. The Antikythera mechanism rewrote the history of science. In 2015, Kyriakos Estafio, a professor of mechanical engineering at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki and head of the group which studied the Antikythera mechanism, said, "All of our research has shown that our ancestors used their deep knowledge of astronomy and technology to construct such mechanisms, and based only on this conclusion, the history of technology should be rewritten because it sets its start many centuries back." The professor further explained that the Antikythera mechanism is undoubtedly the first machine of antiquity which can be classified by the scientific term computer, because it is a machine with an entry where we can import data, and this machine can bring and create results based on a scientific mathematical scale. "Never before did we have such a device," he declared. "We do not simply refer to a computer, but to a supercomputer." Estefano emphasised that name is so hard, sorry. So basically they're saying that there's nothing else ever been found in the world like this, and it's the first ever computer, but like not digital, like analog. And this is fascinating because it's actually got beads on it, which signify the planets and stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing. It's mind-blowing. And obviously I'm going to share a picture where there's been a model reconstructed of it, and it's just incredible. And also well, I'm going to get to the bottom of this and I'm going to tell you what else I think as well. So in 2016, yet another astounding discovery was made when an inscription on the device was revealed, something like a label or a user's manual for the device. It included a discussion of the colours of eclipses, details used at the time in the making of astrological predictions, including the ability to see exact times of eclipses of the moon and the sun, as well as the correct movements of celestial bodies. Okay, so it could calculate it all, basically, everything. Measuring time again, because basically that's time, isn't it? As well as like moon and sun and everything. It's just basically, it's all time. It's all to do with time. Just as we're fascinated by time now, you know what I mean? It's no need to say that there wasn't back then. It's incredible. And also like measuring, like everybody's always fascinated with measuring, you know what I mean? It's always been there in us. So it's not surprising. It's just absolutely fascinating. As you can see from this picture, look at that, you know, and there was measuring all the planets and that by that. It's incredible. Okay, inscribed numbers 76, 19 and 223 showmaker was a Pythagorean. On one side of the device lies a handle that begins the movement of the whole system. By turning the handle and rotating the gauges in the front and rear of the mechanism, the user could set a date that would reveal the astronomical phenomena that would potentially occur around the Earth. Physicist Yanis Bitsakis has said that today the NASA website can detail all the eclipses of the past and those that are to occur to the future. However, what we do with computers today was done with the Antikythera mechanism about 2,000 years ago, he said. By successfully reading 3,400 characters from the fragmented inscriptions by the research team, they have been able to recognise entire sentences, which has aided in understanding the functional object, forming something like a manual for the use of the instrument. Wow. Astrophysics professor Xenophon Mousas has said that today's computers and mobile phones have their roots in the gears of the mechanism, as evidenced by the inscriptions found on the object. This just gets more and more fascinating. The machine is the root of all civilization. The most important thing is that we see laws of physics applying inside the mechanism, and the proof is in the inscriptions and the numbers 76, 19 and 223 that also show the name of the manufacturer, which tells us clearly, "I am a Pythagorean," Musa said. As the professor argued, this machine is the root of all civilization and technology, and in fact it is the oldest computer, quote, tablet, end quote. The mechanism also includes an astrological calendar, as the indicators seem to revolve around the zodiac, revealing the moments of both the moon and the planets. This is just absolutely amazing, isn't it? The machine was meant to be used in different locations. Now see, this is what Lee's meant to say. As everybody's seen those pictures of the Sumerian and the Anunnaki gods and stuff like that, and Sumerians wearing the wristwatches, well, they were all over the world, even in Hindu statues and stuff like that. I think this machine was like a mobile one of them. So basically like a wristwatch, but not a wristwatch telling the time, telling the celestial time. So, you know, I would like to see an up-close picture of them and see if it's got the same cogs and everything as this. I am going to be reading on to say what its details are and cogs and stuff like that, because it's absolutely incredible. It's like the inside of a clock. So let me know what you think about that. I think that those wristwatches could be like a mobile version of this. As soon as I read this, I was like, yeah, wow, that could be it. And it's like sparked something else inside of me. Okay, so making this incredible machine even more impressive is the fact that the movements of the planets are directly linked to specific observation sites around the world at the time, suggesting that the creator of the Antikythera mechanism had provided for the use of the machine in more than one location. Okay, this incredible realization came about when scientists saw the words Dodona and Alexandria. These were found in the machine's engravings. The mechanism also included methods to estimate the time of sporting events held every 4 years, such as the Olympic Games and the Isthmian Games, according to claims made by researchers. Wow. Look, but so then that would date it around that time when they started, or after when they started, because they wouldn't be measuring it before, you see. I don't know, but that just don't make no sense. All the scientists involved in the analysis of this incredible device, as well as many other researchers, agree that the Antikythera find is the most important maritime shipwreck discovery in human history. Wow. And also, there was bones found at the Antikythera mechanism shipwreck site. Okay, so Greece's Ministry of Culture issued a statement in late 2019 informing the public about the discoveries made at the wreck site, which once yielded Antikythera mechanism off the island of Antikythera, south of the Peloponnesian Peninsula. The statement noted that bones were collected, which now need to be analysed, as well as olive kernels and bronze nails from the ship, as well as a bronze ring, whose use remains unknown. Among the findings which were discovered were sections of the bodies of an ancient amphorae, as well as the bases and necks from the main bodies of the vases. The types of amphorae as identified as those which were typically used on the island of Kos and in southern Italy in ancient times. The Greek ministry noted the scientific mission of October 2019 completed the first 5-year research programme. Based on all the results of the latest research, preparations for the new 5-year programme starting in May 2020 will begin immediately with the continuation of excavation research in various areas of the wreck, where there are good indications that impressive findings and new findings will come to light. The mission was concluded with great success despite adverse weather conditions and the limited length of time for the rescue research, the ministry added. Wow. Like, so you imagine what else they could find, you know, like they could pull out another machine that they could be studying for another 20 years. There was an expedition led by the Greek Ephorate of Underwater Antiquities Lund University and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution was conducted between September the 4th to September the 20th of that year, 2017. So it leads on to say, as per the previous trips to the wreck, the team did not leave disappointed. So basically, they've obviously been before. With excellent weather conditions above them, the divers managed to recover an orphaned right arm of a bronze statue, pottery shards, nails, lead sheathing fragments, an odd metal disc, among other artefacts. Prior to that expedition, the Return to Antikythera project team managed to recover glassware, luxury ceramics, anchors, counterweights, tools, and even an ancient skeleton, which is still undergoing DNA analysis. Wow, like that is just incredible. And obviously any pictures that I can find I will attach to this video. So the description of it, this machine leads on to say, the astounding machine has been recreated once again using 3D imagery by a brilliant group of researchers from University College London. Not only is the recreation a thing of great beauty and amazing genius, but it's also made possible a new understanding of how it worked. Since only 82 fragments of the original mechanism are extant, comprising only 1/3 of the entire calculator, this left researchers stymied as to its full capabilities. Until this moment, the front of the mechanism, containing most of the gears, has been a bit of a holy grail for marine archaeologists and astronomers. Using computer modelling, the UCL researchers have reconstructed the ancient computer, allowing them to fully grasp exactly what it was meant to do. Professor Tony Freeth says in an article published in the periodical Scientific Reports, ours is the first model that conforms to all physical evidence and matches the description in the scientific inscriptions engraved on the mechanism itself. The sun, moon and planets are displayed in an impressive tour de force of ancient Greek brilliance. The largest surviving piece of the mechanism, referred to by researchers known as Fragment A, has bearings, pillars and a block. Another piece, known as Fragment D, has a mysterious disc along with an extraordinary intricate 63-toothed gear and a plate. The inscriptions, just discovered recently by researchers, on the back cover of the mechanism have a description of the cosmos and the planets, shown by beads of various colours, and move on rings set around the inscriptions. Oh my Jesus, that is just incredible that it's got all of that on there. So it was fully like basically like an abacus, but for the stars. You know, that's incredible. By employing the information gleaned from recent x-rays of the computer and their knowledge of ancient Greek mathematics, the UCL researchers have now shown that they can demonstrate how the mechanism determines the cycles of the planets Venus and Saturn. Adding even more meaning to their discovery, researchers have also been able to add all the missing information on the cycles of the other planets, which had been missing up until now. Evangelos Valianatos, author of many books on the Antikythera mechanism, writing at Greek Reporter, said that it was much more than a mere mechanism. It was a sophisticated, mind-bogglingly complex astronomical computer, he said, and Greeks made it. They employed advanced astronomy, mathematics, metallurgy and engineering to do so, constructing the astronomical device 2,200 years ago. These scientific facts of the computer's age and its flawless high-tech nature profoundly disturbed some of the scientists who studied it. A few Western scientists of the 20th century were shocked by the Antikythera mechanism, Valianatos said. They called it an astrolabe for several decades and refused to call it a computer. The astrolabe, a Greek convention, is a useful instrument for calculating the position of the sun and other prominent stars, yet its technology is rudimentary compared to that of the Antikythera device. The Antikythera computer was part and parcel of a wider plan of improving civilization itself. Greek philosophers added to the cosmic elements of cold, hot, dry, and wet the concepts of equality and justice as governing virtues in the cosmos, Valianatos said. That vision also made the Antikythera computer. Its front plate was of the cosmos of the sun god Helios, his sister Selene, the moon, phases of the moon, the planets, and major stars and constellations. This cosmos was embraced by the inside circle of the zodiac, with its 12 constellations, and outside circle of the 365-day year. The genius computer was a pipeline between the gods and Greeks. It predicted the eclipses of the sun and the moon, and connected the cosmos and natural phenomena to the Olympics and to the other Pan-Hellenic celebrations of the gods, as well as to the athletic and cultural competition and excellence. Wow, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. And I am so grateful that I came across this information, because it makes sense now. And it's also sparked me off again about the dating of these sites, because I was happy with knowing that, yeah, they was using astrology, and that's how we know when they did certain things, because they was putting the astrological zodiac signs and stuff like that up, and start aligning with the star alignments and stuff. But really now, who knows, because if they was measuring it beforehand to get ready for that, to prepare, so they would build it, I don't know, 5 years before, to prepare for it, to prepare for that certain ceremony, or even 100 years before. I'm not sure, I don't know, but I need to look into it even more now and see if there was any more of these kind of things anywhere else, and see if, it goes back, 205 BC, before Christ. So, who knows if that's the first? It might not be the first. And again, it's another proof of how important the moon, the sun, and the stars were to our ancient ancestors. And like what I've always said, there wasn't no distractions back then. There wasn't no TV. There wasn't no phones. The music was the music that you played, and you created yourself through your own vibration. So it wasn't like you could get sucked into things. So what is there to do all day and all night? Look at the stars, look up, see. In the day, you observe the nature, what's around you. At the night time, you can't see the nature, can you? But you can see the stars. And obviously there was no skyscrapers and all this light that we have now, all this light pollution. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. It's ridiculous. I hate it when the stars are out at night in my area. It's beautiful, but you can't see them properly because of all the houses and the lights and the street lamps. And they've even changed our street lamps now, so they're like these LED ones, and it's horrible. I don't even like going out in my back garden because of them, because they're so bright. So yeah, it was so important. And the older that we go, the more that you find that they was doing it even more so, studying the stars and the moon and the sun cycles and the eclipses and the solstices and stuff like that. It was very important, and it's something that we've lost now, and I think it's a shame. I think if more people took notice, we could get back in touch with our souls and our calling, our true purpose, the reason why we exist in the first place. So we haven't got to keep coming back and reliving the same cycle. That's what I believe anyway. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you all. That's an amazing find. Let me know if you already know about this, if you know any more information. And yeah, let me know what you think, what your opinions are. I'd love to know. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to send you lots of love, lots of light. Take care.